بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه أما بعد. We'll start بإذن ta'ala after the introduction that we had concerning the tafsir of the Quran and concerning also the an idea or just kind of a summary of the perspective of the ayat of Juz Amma. The ayat of Juz Amma are the ayat from Al-Hizb al-Mufassal wal-Hizb al-Mufassal, as we have said, starting from Surah Al-Hujurat or Surah Qaf to the end of the Quran. And they are, as we have said, with the exception of Surah Al-Nasr or Surah Al-Bayyinah, which are Madani, all of them, they are in Surah Al-Naba, are from Mecca, are revealed in Mecca. And one of the aspects of the Surah Al-Makkiyah, one of the aspects of the Surah that has been revealed in Mecca, which is to build the Aqidah, And the building of the Aqidah, which is the creed, the belief, also really restructuring the whole way of thinking, restructuring the whole way, of what really stir one's emotions, to restructure also one's dreams, redesign their dreams and therefore the motivations. So this is very important for us. This is how the companions Ridwanullahi ta'ala alayhim, they have been changed. All their full, if you can say, metamorphosis happen within themselves. Imagine someone, all what they were longing for is to be in a club around people, drinking, laughing, doing, futile things, to the point becomes their dream to recite the book of Allah, to make a lot of sujood, instead of, thinking of, supporting their tribes, either for justice or for transgression. They become only thinking of justice, and justice in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This ayat should also have the same effect for us. This ayat of Juz Amma should have the same effect of us. As we have said, one of its style, that short ayah comes like, instilling meaning or hammering on one's conscience to really wake up and to really reflect and to really ponder. The beginning, بعد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم, قال الله سبحانه وتعالى عما يتساءلون, عما يتساءلون. This ayah, what are they asking one another about? About what they are asking one another. So here, look, the beginning of the ayah, to see the style of the Quran, how in the way of admonishing, in the way of presenting the wa'id. Starting with the question, عَمَّا يَتَسَاءَلُونَ, what are they asking another or one another about? وَالتَّسَاءُلُ, سَأَلَ is to ask a question. تَسَاءُل, تَفَاعُل, which involve more than one, to ask each other a question. So here when we say عَمَّا يَتَسَاءَلُونَ, it's like someone, for example, there's a group are talking, said what, and he like asking the question, he said what they are talking about, what they are, asking each other. But here, is it the question that we have in the beginning of this ayah, to know what they are asking about, what they're talking about, what they are asking one another about, when Allah already knows. So it has another meaning. So عَمَّا يَتَسَاءَلُونَ is like what they are already asking one another about, and there comes the answer. So here, the tasa'ul according to the scholar of the tafsir, is either they truly asking a question to each other, or they asking in a type is a metaphorical way. Metaphorical way is like ask a question, but we don't really want the answer. It's more like, mocking, ridiculing the person who has, brought something. They ask a question like with some of the examples that we're going to say. So التساؤل الحقيقي بأن يسأل أحد منهم غير عن بعض أحوال هذا النبأ. For example, if it is truly asking one another question, they will be asking about النبأ, this نبأ, because عما يتساءلون, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala النبأ العظيم. النبأ العظيم here they call the great news, because النبأ is not like simple news. النبأ is something that comes, it has, as one of the scholars here, قال الراغب الأصفهاني النبأ الخبر ذو الفائدة العظيمة. The news has a tremendous, very important news, which is going to give you certain knowledge. And we will not say to the simple news نبأ, but نبأ is something big, something that is really have you to draw your attention. It's not any news that you hear and you don't pay attention to. نبأ is something big. So whatever you hear in the Quran, النبأ, وَاتْلُ عَلَيْهِمْ نَبَأَ إِبْرَاهِيمَ وَاتْلُ عَلَيْهِمْ نَبَأَ نُوح. Tell them about the naba, the great news about Nuh, about Ibrahim, and so on. So if he's this asking something that is really, meaning or like intending with it, the true asking, then it will be, for example, ما يسأل سائله سؤالا عن حال آخر أحوال هذا الأنباء. They say, what is about this news? Someone will cross his mind, some thoughts, then they will ask each other about it. But asking each other about it, not to learn, but to show how strange this news. Because Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam brought them things, for them is strange. The two main things that they had them to get against the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and declare against him all this campaign of denial, the campaign of ridiculing, the campaign of persecuting later on, all of it because there is two aspects that the Prophet ﷺ brought with this great news. The first aspect is the rejection of their gods. The second one is the resurrection. So these two aspects, subhanAllah, if you look at them today, this is what people are deviated from the path of Islam. This is what they believe in. They believe in other God than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because whatever ideology they believe in, whatever ideology they hold dear to their heart, which define their emotion, would define their dreams, would define their thinking, would define their motivation, that is the God. So if the people of Quraysh, they used to have a God as a stone, but this stone represents for them a spirit. But this spirit is the one they connect with to really define for themselves dreams. So dictating on these stones whatever they dream to become like for them, their dreams, their paradise like, if you can say, on the planet Earth. So here the second one, as you see it today, this is how people, they live in a godless society, making their dreams to be their utopia. If they fulfill it, they make it their dreams to be, their paradise on earth. So it's exactly like the people of Quraysh. We live, in Jahiliyyah, in a time of ignorance or epoch of ignorance, like the people of Quraysh. The second aspect is the resurrection. The resurrection. So the Quran said that how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bring the dead people to life. For them, that's such, a forging lies, يَقُولُونَ أَفْتَرَى عَلَى اللَّهِ, which will bring us to the second aspect, how they were talking, for example, one of their question to each other, that is true question, أَفْتَرَى عَلَى اللَّهِ كَذِبًا أَمْ بِهِ جِنَّةٌ. Is this person, he's forging against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala lies, or he's crazy? So it's like, not they want to know, but they want to ridicule. They want to really show what Muhammad ﷺ brought, at least with their effort to invalidate it and to justify that he's wrong. Other, قال أَإِذَا كُنَّا تُرَابًا وَآبَاؤُنَا أَإِنَّا لَمُخْرَجُونَ. Is this possible if you were to be fully dust, us and our forefather, are we going to come back? And today, subhanAllah, people, atheism, or like even the secular system in general, people, they don't think about, a true day of judgment. Even the people of faith, they think of the true day of judgment. For them, it's either guaranteed because they're going to go all to paradise if it does exist. And most of the people who are there to the materialistic world, they don't believe into the resurrection. That's why people, for example, they want to, for example, do that cremation, they want their remaining of the body would be thrown somewhere in the sea, or some people, excuse me from the word, this is reality, to be flushed in the toilet, so it go all over to becomes like fertilizing the earth, so they feel like living back, reincarnating into plants and things. And this is, subhanAllah, not far from the people of Quraysh. It's exactly the same. It's exactly the same mentality with different decor, with different aspects. But it is, we live in a world like the world of Quraysh. So we're reading the Quran today, and the people who are denying and standing against the Prophet ﷺ are the people of today, exactly. The people of today. They say, for example, in هذا إلا أساطير الأولين, this is the tales of the ancients, and so on. For not really making a question, ridiculing, mocking, the way, like, tahakkum, you say, like Abu Jahl, la'anahullah, he used to make fun of, the Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned the tree of Zaqqum, al-iyadu billah. Zaqqum is the tree that is the food of the people of hellfire, and it is planted, it grows within the heart of hellfire, wal-iyadu billah. The fruit of it, when you see it as the heads of the shayateen, of the devils, which we know that the heads of the devils are so scary and so ugly. If they are they look like the, subhanallah, the heads that are hanging in this tree. قال طلعها كأنه رؤوس الشياطين. When you see it, subhanallah, coming out as the heads of the devils, والعياذ بالله. So Abu Jahl, la'anahullah, he used to say, can someone serve us some zaqqum to fill our bellies, making mocking, because the Quran talking about the zaqqum. So he said, can someone serve us some zaqqum, which is like ridiculing and mocking the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Therefore here, the istifham, the question here, عَمَّا يَتَسَاءَلُونَ, not to know what they are really asking about, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows, but as a way to have what we call at-tashwiq. At-tashwiq is to have you aspiring and longing to know what is going to come. So because who the one who is speaking is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So said, عَمَّا يَتَسَاءَلُونَ, which is mean kind of threatening, kind of admonition, what they are talking about, what they are asking each other about, This is قال فهو استفهام حقيقي معناها يبعث التشويق. قال يبعث التشويق. فالاستفهام ليس استفهاما بل هو مساعد في التشويق إلى تلقي الخبر نحن قوله تعالى, and this is the like it in the Quran. Should I tell you هل أنبئكم على من تنزل الشياطين? Should I tell you about whom the devils will be descending? Should I tell you? So yes, Allah tell us. So عما يتساءلون عن النبأ العظيم, they're talking about this great news, this tremendous news, طيب, النبأ العظيم, adding al-azim to an-naba, tremendous. Azim is something so big, لأنه كونه واردا من عالم الغيب, because it is from the unseen. So it is great news, but it is tremendous. It's really great news. Why? Because this naba, there is no way to come to know it with our perception, with our cognitive abilities. Impossible, because it's beyond our perception. Therefore, it is azim. It is azim. Everything in the unseen, the Quran describes it we will have a picture of it. Why? A very small picture. We have kind of a concept, we have kind of an idea about it. An idea about it. But you do not know the reality of it till you'll see it. So the idea that we have about the unseen is an idea, its basis is our finitude, is our limited capabilities of perception. For this reason, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talking about the Jannah, for example, talking about paradise, He gives you a description of something that is familiar to you. Fruits, grapes, pomegranate, things that you know. But later in the Quran, He tell you, when you taste it, nothing have to do with the dunya. When you see it, is something else. You see. So the description in the Quran is true, but is based on our perception. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us the idea. Therefore, when you see it, you're going to be in awe, you're going to be like amazed, you're going to be in shock. Because far, far from what you have perceived in the dunya. So that's one becomes azim. The same when you see, wal-iyadu billah, hellfire. Hellfire is something, subhanallah, is the worst thing ever a human being will be seeing in their life. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. The ugliest thing that someone can witness in their whole entire existence cannot be compared to looking at hellfire. When the hellfire will be brought near, the closest to Allah, Ibrahim alayhi salam will fall on his knees. He will be calling, Ya Allah, myself, help me. Ya Allah, save me. Nafsi, nafsi. So this is what between naba and azim. It is great news. They're going to shake you. They're going to give you knowledge that you do not know. But this azim is beyond what you can even imagine. It's beyond what you can even imagine. So what is this naba? What is this great news? Concerning what? فَقَالَ It comprises this naba, everything that the Prophet ﷺ talked about it and what was revealed in the Quran. First, that the Quran is the words of Allah, that's naba'un azim. This is the words of the Creator subhanahu wa ta'ala. Naba'un azim. وَمَا تَضَمَّنُهُ الْقُرْآنُ مِنْ إِبْطَالِ الشِّرْكِ And whatever the Quran contained from invalidating all the type of the shirk, all the type of polytheism and everything. And from confirming and affirming the resurrection of the people in the day of judgment, on the day of judgment. So not only resurrection, because the resurrection, He said, if I come back to life, so this is good. I will live again. No, no, you're going to come back to life to be judged for what you have done in this life. This is big difference. Then it has a purpose. So this is not like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created things for no purpose, without a purpose. There is a purpose. You're going to be brought back, so you're going to be held accountable of what you did in this life. In this life. So all of these are naba'un azim. And reminding you, the fact to talk about, for example, invalidating all the aspects of the polytheism, it is also invalidating the whole social system, the whole governmental system, the whole, subhanAllah, when you say social system, the social context upon which the society was built in Quraysh is going to, subhanAllah, has to disintegrate it. It's like, you know, the Quran comes to erase, to remove all this social context. So here when you're talking today, for example, you know, if you want to implement Islam, it's not going to be possible, it's not going to be possible truly, unless everyone adhere to Islam and they accept to give away everything that they have. For example, today everything is based on consumerism, and consumerism led to, you know, something that you can imagine of waste. Waste. So adhering to Islam, the first thing, for example, say give away things. I mean, you should not have all of this. This is a waste. At least to really have the restoring some of the, let's say, of health to the earth. So when we're thinking about such a thing, therefore the whole social context need to change to embrace Islam. For Islam to give them, to help them, to elevate them, to cleanse them, to purify them. So Islam cannot be a solution for a social context. We want to preserve their own system. Cannot be. Islam has to be embraced by every individual that comes from the heart of everyone, then to change the whole social context from within. This is what happened to the companion Ridwanullahi ta'ala alayhi. The Prophet ﷺ didn't say them, you know, stop going to this, stop doing this, stop doing this. We have to be in Dar al-Arqam and studying Quran. He didn't do that. It's the Quran who changed them from inside. You shall find them running to Dar al-Arqam, hiding, nobody to see them. Given Abu Bakr radiallahu ta'ala anhu, given his money and investing in freeing the slaves of the Muslim, like Bilal, like Abu Fuhayra. Why? Because he's investing his money. Even his father was like criticizing him. He said, son, are you investing your money in things that does not gonna bring you any profit? You are investing in weak people. You cannot even sell them back. He said, I'm not doing it for the sake of profit. I'm doing it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you see, Islam comes to change the within. So then the social context will change. The within, when someone righteous in the family, he's going to help the family be righteous. And that family becomes righteous, then they're going to help in other people being righteous. This is when going to change. Because that righteous family, if they're going to be offered something haram, they say, we don't consume that. The other family say, we don't consume that. The other family, we don't consume that. Therefore, the business person who's selling that thing, you're going to be, stop selling it. Why? Because he's not making profit anymore. Because the people stop doing it, stop buying it. That's how the social context is not going to change. Like, you know, we're bringing you the beauty of Islam and then you're going to change it. This is what happened. For this reason, the Prophet ﷺ was seeking to find the place where he's going to grow his da'wah. He needed the land to grow his da'wah. The first people, at the very early stage, even after a few years, they only were like 30, less than 40 people, between men and women from those who accepted Islam. So this is the Naba. The Naba, then we have the words of Allah, the Quran, is the words of Allah, showing the how to void all the aspect of the shirk. And voiding the aspect of the shirk, meaning voiding and coming against the whole social system. Look, Islam changed even the type of marriages. He invalidated them, he voided them, except the marriage that is known from the beginning of the humanity. He invalidated, you know, the type of the relationship based on injustice. He gave the right to the women, right of inheritance, right of speaking, right of having her opinion, and so on. So Islam came to change the whole society. For this reason, the people of Quraysh stand against it, because they knew the word La ilaha illallah is not a simple word. It's not a word that you say and you leave me alone. No, the La ilaha illallah is going to change your heart, it's going to change your soul, it's going to change your condition, it's going to change your environment, it's going to change the way how you interact with your people, it's going to change the way how you interact with your money. Like the people of Shu'aib, قالوا, what happened to you? You are dictating on us how to use our own money. Because Islam is going to touch every aspect in your life. Yeah, this is not your money if you believe in Allah. This is Allah's gift to you. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tell you, keep it, enjoy it, do not waste, do not use it in haram, and reserve part of it to go to the poor or to give it away. That is the part of the zakat. قال أصلاتك تأمرنا أن نترك ما يعبد آباؤنا أو أن نفعل في أموالنا ما نشاء. Your prayer is ordaining you, Ya Shu'aib, to leave and turn away from what our forefather used to worship and to tell us what to do with our money. It's something so strange. So it's very important for us to understand this aspect, which is today, if you ask a person, for example, you say, you know, a simple thing, it's not serious, to ask everyone in the neighborhood to get rid of their dogs. You're going to see a revolution, right? Nobody said, you know, Islam, which is not, you know, a major aspect or a major command here. I mean, come to Islam and keep your dog. We'll find for you fatwa, inshallah ta'ala. But to tell you how people, you see them working their dog every day, you tell them you have to pray at that time. It's going to be different. So it's like Islam to be introduced as a gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to the humankind. This only come from within, from inside. From inside. قال, some of the righteous predecessors, when they are talking about النبأ العظيم, قال ابن عباس هو القرآن. النبأ العظيم, this great tremendous news is the Quran. وعن مجاهد وقتادة قال هو البعث يوم القيامة. هو البعث يوم القيامة, the resurrection in the day of the judgment. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, الذي هم فيه مختلفون, they are disputing about it, because the way they're mocking, the way they're ridiculing, they don't want to talk about it, but it's like a media campaign to reject it. Because when, for example, someone who appears in the community is killed, the people who are going to envy this person, they don't want this person to, for example, to be known. Maybe this person has the ability for people to love this person and make them a leader, you know, make them a ruler, make them to be, the main person that the people they're going to buy from, for example. So the people who are going to be, competitors with this person, they don't like him, they're going to spread false news on this person. And it might not be really false news. For example, in a way he said, oh, do you know so-and-so? He said, oh, that person, just making with your head, this is backbite, subhanAllah. So you have kind of say to the other person, this person you should not even talk to, just by, nodding your head. So imagine what they were saying about the Prophet ﷺ. So to really destroy the credibility of the Prophet, when everybody used to call him Al-Sadiq Al-Amin, the truthful, the trustworthy, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, but he became sha'ir, a poet. He became insane. He became someone who's dividing between families, becomes making a big fitna. So not anymore Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, the one, the respected, the loved, the dear to everyone. It becomes someone who's really causing all these problems. To the point, and they used to call him, and he was over 40 years, what they used to call him, Al-Ghulam, the young kid. Don't listen to the young kid, to that kid of Quraysh. Who is the kid of Quraysh? We're talking about the Prophet ﷺ. And they have a media campaign to have people mobilize in the season of the Hajj to say, there is an insane person, a kid of Quraysh, we call him, You might see him. If he come talk to you about things like, weird, don't listen to him. And he has actually ability of magic. He can bewitch you. So he's like, subhanAllah, he's like a magician. And they said he's a magician, he's a shia, all of them. So to destroy the credibility of the Prophet ﷺ. So the disagreement here, الَّذِينَ فِيهِ مُخْتَلِفُونَ, disagreement in a way how to invalidate, how to reject, how not have people to come close to it. Why? Because La ilaha illallah is going to change the whole social context, the whole balance into the society, and is going to withdraw the leadership from the people who are ruling the system. That's why in every story of the Prophet, who the people who reject and object and stand against the Prophet? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala al-Mala', those group. Who are this group? The group who had the ruling of the system in their hand. And today the same thing. The people who have the ruling of the system in their hand, they will always stop anything that will, subhanAllah, alter their system, change what they are doing, because all their interest, all their profit, all their, subhanAllah, they gain into the system, how it works. How it works. So La ilaha illallah is going to break down the system, eradicate the system, erase this whole system. So al-ikhtilaf huna is that over which they disagree, disagreeing not in whether the news that the Prophet ﷺ is bringing is right or not, disagreeing in the way how we're going to destroy the credibility of the Prophet ﷺ, rejecting this news that is really invading our people, invading our youth, invading, our families and so on. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He said, Kalla. This is Kalla, subhanallah, is a word qala of rada. Rada. Rad'u is something, to admonish, elaborate, and then qala kalla saya'lamun. Kalla, nay. And nay here, subhanallah, introduced the wa'id. Al-wa'id. Al-wa'id is the threatening. So here now they understand more how the ayah is elaborated. عَمَّ يَتَسَأَلُونَ عَنِ النَّبَأِ الْعَظِيمِ الَّذِي هُمْ فِيهِ مُخْتَلِفُونَ. What they are asking each other about this great news that is from the unseen, that they do not have any clue, to ridicule it, to try to unjustify it, or try to invalidate it, standing against it, making a campaign against it. Mukhtalifun, disagreeing about the way how to invalidate it. Kalla, this is threatening. Kalla saya'lamun. Nay, they're going to be seen. They're going to be here. Qal, a statement. Kalla introduced a statement to clarify or elaborates on what was previously left vague. Naba azim. It's vague, particularly in terms of rebuke and refutation. Kalla. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to refuting and rebuking everything that they have said. Therefore, in this instance, it is followed by the phrase saya'lamun. They're going to be knowing. They're going to know. They will know. Here, which serves to further invalidate their claims. So he said, what are they talking about? They say they're talking about this and this. He said, no. Kalla. This is nay. This is wrong. This is rejected. They will see. So the one who's saying they will see is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is a big threatening. So saya'lamuna, they will know, serves to further invalidate their claims by affirming that they will indeed become certain of its occurrence and will be punished for their denial. So subhanallah, what is the point when they go to know? There are two forms of knowledge that comes right after death. The knowledge of the reality of the resurrection and the knowledge of the punishment that follows for having denied it. The first thing that they will know at the moment of death, that they're going to be resurrected and they're going to be punished because of their denial. Subhanallah. And we finish with this ahadith. قال إن الكافر يرى مقعده فيقال له هذا مقعدك حتى تبعث. The disbeliever, as soon as he dies, he will see his abode in hellfire. He said, this is your place in hellfire. He will be looking at it till the day of judgment. And the other hadith, قال القبر روضة من رياض الجنة. القبر روضة من رياض الجنة أو حفرة من حفر النار. The Prophet ﷺ said the grave is either a meadows of paradise, is like a gardens, a paradise, or it is, subhanallah, a hole in which it has a fire. حفرة من حفر النار. How you going to, what you're going to have, one of these. It depends on your belief, on your action today. You can make your grave to be a meadow of paradise. in which you will have the delight of your eyes waiting to meet Allah and then admitted to paradise. Because the true day of judgment, individual day of judgment, is the day of our death. So كَلَّا سَيَعْلَمُونَ is affirming that they will see it and know it as soon as they die. As soon as they die. قال وذلك من مشاهد روح المقبور وهي المكاشفات الروحية. قال Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala قال لترون الجحيم, you will see the hellfire, ثم لترونها عين اليقين, and then you will see it again with عين اليقين, with your own eyes. The first one, لترون الجحيم, you will see hellfire, then you will see it with your own eyes. So the scholar of the Tafsir said the first seeing is in the grave, seeing hellfire. So كَلَّا سَيَعْلَمُونَ comprises the fact of having, affirming the true knowledge that every human being is going to believe in the day and when he dies. That's why they will be screaming, bring us back, Ya Allah, do good deeds and just, redeem of ourselves from what we have done, but it will be too late. We'll stop here bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. Jazakumullah khair for your attention, and we'll continue next time just to mention how the style of the Quran presenting for us the adillah, the evidence of the resurrection through the way of inviting to contemplate in the universe around us. And that's what is Juz Amma, to see subhanAllah how beautiful it is to help one open his mind and open his heart to this whole vast universe, and to see in every aspect Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to talk about, is going to see resurrection. In every ayah, resurrection becomes more certain, more certain, more certain, till he'll start to talk to you about the day of judgment. Jazakumullah khair.